Hey there, YouTube. So first order of business, the title is not clickbait, but it is not as ominous as it sounds. This will be the last pickup video for a while, but mainly because the last of the items that I was waiting on have come in, and right now I haven't ordered anything else, and I'm not really jumping at the chance to go and pick up too many things right now. I'm kind of sitting back like everybody else, kind of just waiting and seeing how things are going to go, and trying to figure out my own situation as I go along. So first of all, before I get into any of the pickups or anything, hopefully you're doing well, and whatever context that means for you and wherever you are. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, because the second half of this video, well, the majority of this video towards the end is going to be just talking about general stuff. But I'll actually do the pickups right now, just in front. Really quickly, two packages total, and one of them does complete a rainbow, so I'll talk about that in a second. First one is a Canada versus the World Mike Modano autograph. So this is from In the Game. This was around, I believe, 2011. This was a Canada versus the World product that they released that had autographs of different international players and Canadian players and the whole bit. Very much the international theme, so you can see there. Very straightforward. It's just a sticker autograph, nothing too crazy. A nice little card to add to the collection, though, and not very expensive at all. So it was a nice one to pick up. And then the second one that I got was one of those late 90s hockey cards that I really advocate for. That, like I said, it was my favorite era. So 97, 98 specifically. So this is 97, 98, and actually I'll take it out of the plastic. It'll be a little easier to see. 97, 98, Pinnacle, totally certified. This is the Mirror Platinum Gold, or Gold Mirror Platinum, something like that. So hopefully I'm going to try to focus in on this and try to get it so that you can see a little bit. Hopefully you can get a little bit of a sense. I did put on the other light here just to help me out a little, but it does create a lot of glare as well. Hopefully you can get a bit of a sense from this, just how shiny the card is. So this is the most limited version of the card, so that is numbered to 30. So you can see right there. A really sweet card. And particularly, so I paid a pretty penny for this one, but the reason I did is because it completes my rainbow. So there's only 4 cards in the series, but they're all numbered. And that was the whole thing with Totally Certified, was that all the cards are numbered. So I'm going to show them to you now. So first you got the Platinum Red, which is one of the base cards. All the cards are very attractive, by the way, even the base cards. But you can see kind of a lot of duflex going on, and you can definitely, it'll play with the light. This is not natural light, certainly, but if you had it in natural light, it would really go crazy playing with it. And I've left all the peels on for now, and I'll figure out long-term what I'm going to do, but for now, I've got it like this. So that's the Platinum Red, and that is numbered to 61.99. So the numbering on the other ones are right here. So you can see that. There we go. That's a little easier to read. So 61.99, that's the Platinum Red version. And then the parallel, kind of the also base card, but it's still kind of a parallel, is the Platinum Blue. So that one's a little bit less common. Again, same design on all of these. They are parallels of each other, but still a very nice card. Really nice blue. And this one is numbered to 30.99. Hopefully you can see that. So getting a little bit more limited, about half the production of the other one, but still certainly very common. And then, of course, you've got the Platinum Gold, and that's your next one. And then we really start going down in terms of production numbers from here. So your Platinum Gold is very much the same kind of thing. Looks very similar to it. And they're all marked accordingly up there, so you can see that. And then we'll contrast it to the newest edition in a second again. Just trying to get out of the glare of a little bit. There we go. So this one is numbered to 69. So as you can see now, the production numbers have really started to drop off. Pretty crazy. And then obviously the new one, the Mirror Platinum Gold. So you can see it really goes in, because now you're adding the Duflex technology along with a little bit of rainbow effect, and it combines to make a really crazy looking card. Really beautiful though. And that one, as I said, is numbered to 30, and they put the numbering down here to differentiate it from the other ones. So that right there is the rainbow. So for this particular series, it's just the 4 cards. And that's it. That's all there is for this one. There is also a Pinnacle Certified, which is more straightforward. And I do have, I believe I have completed the rainbow on that as well. I'll have to double check. But this one definitely was one that was years in the making. 23 years in the making, or 22 to be exact. But definitely a very cool set. And you can only put together 30 of these. So that's a nice little addition to the collection. And working on that late 90s stuff. Very cool, and something I'm very happy to add to the collection. Like I said, that's going to be the last of the pickups for a while. Most of the pickups that I am going to get now are probably not ones that I'm going to make videos for, because a lot of it is just stuff for the home office. It's really very practical, trying to prepare myself for an extended period where I'm going to be working from home. Obviously, like a lot of you, I'm required to do that in order to stay kind of out of the outside, indoors, and to make sure that we keep the whole coronavirus thing to a minimum. And part of that is just preparing yourself accordingly. Like the excitement of today was getting a wireless keyboard. So I did get those the last of those cards. I did get the Mirror Gold did come in the mail, so I picked that up today. But a wireless keyboard, a laptop stand, because I needed that just for the office, and then and then this was a very exciting pickup. So you got the cold brew coffee maker. I actually have one of these, a more mechanical one that basically just pumps the water through it, but this one will make a little bit more, so I'll give it a try. This is basically like steeping it in. I'm not a hot coffee kind of guy, more of a cold brew, so I'm going to be needing it if I'm going to be working out of the house. One thing that you do notice, and that's it for pickups, by the way. If you just wanted to check out pickups, I even included bonus cold brew coffee maker. But as far as pickups are concerned, we're done. We're just going to sit and chat for a little bit now. One thing I'll say before I continue is that I do encourage you, if obviously there's a lot of things going on, and if something you're not wanting to do, that makes perfect sense, and I totally get it. But what I would say to you is, if you're inclined and you're willing, take the time to produce a little bit of content. It doesn't have to be like the greatest thing. You may not have the biggest collection or the most expensive collection, but I think a lot of folks right now are kind of just looking for something to distract themselves from what's going on in the rest of the world, and the content itself provides some of that. I've noticed definitely an uptick in people producing videos, and also another thing I've noticed a big uptick in is a lot of live videos, and that totally makes sense to me because it adds the element of, yep, it's content, and it's live, and then that kind of gives people a chance to really actively participate with it. One thing is to leave comments, which is always welcome, but another thing is if the video is happening live and you can kind of interact with the person, and it just adds that one little aspect, especially with a lot of us isolated out from each other. That's a way of at least communicating that way. And if worse comes to worse, reach out to somebody maybe that have a conversation, because everybody's kind of dealing with stuff their own way. I'm a little bit more on the introverted side of the spectrum. I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, and obviously I talk to a camera, which is great practice, but also I worked in a call center for a couple of years. And when you do 50,000 phone calls on the phone, you get pretty good at finding different ways to have conversations. But day to day, I'm pretty comfortable kind of being in my own space quiet. But one thing I did notice that definitely it wasn't unexpected, but it's something that I definitely noticed, was that a lot of folks, all of us at the office where I work are now kind of in work from home mode, and a lot of folks are really having some trouble getting used to it because some of them have kids, certainly, and that complicates things. But even the ones that don't are looking at it from the perspective that they're getting a little bit of cabin fever. And for us, it's only been really 3 days because we started on Monday, and then we're on Wednesday now as I record this. And I can totally sympathize with that. And it makes it a little bit interesting because I can sympathize, but I can't relate, only because, like I said, being on a little bit more introverted side of the spectrum, I'm kind of comfortable kind of in my own quiet space. And also at the same time, I feel like I have a lot of things I could do. One thing actually that I wanted to include in this video, and I'm going to put the link in the description. So if you're interested, if for whatever reason, maybe you don't want to check out card content or anything right now, there are a lot of resources out there. Obviously, you got your Netflix and Amazon Prime. I have. That's a good one. Obviously, there's no new events happening right now, but I've got the UFC Fight Pass because I ordered a fight forever ago, and you can bundle it and get like a 6-month subscription. I think my subscription is still active, so I'm going to go watch some old fight cards. I'm a big MMA fan, so I enjoy that. Ones that I haven't watched yet, so that can provide a lot of entertainment. But in the description, what I did is I included some things that are for free. You don't really have to pay for it. On YouTube itself, I'm including a couple of links to Jomboy Media. Went back and looked at some World Series games from the 1970s, only a couple of innings, and did like a little running commentary of it. It's kind of fun. It's maybe about half an hour each video, give or take. If you're a bit of a baseball nerd, that's kind of cool. The other thing I'm linking to as well is I'm linking to a playlist to the MLB Vault. Now, I knew it had been somewhere, but I forgot that it was MLB Vault. I believe this is directly from Major League Baseball, and they actually archived some old games and some highlights and some things like that. And I'm going to link to a playlist that is going to have World Series games. There are 39 videos on it. I'm looking at it right here, so I'm just reminding myself as I go. There are 39 videos in it, and it's got a lot of classic World Series games, and it's the full broadcast in a lot of cases, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So you can check out the 2005 World Series, the 1986 World Series Game 7. Maybe not good if you're a Red Sox fan, but if you're a Mets fan, there you go, that's a good one. The 91 World Series, that's a classic, because that's where Jack Morris went the distance against John Smoltz in Game 7. So that's there in its entirety, in its glory for you to check out. And even some really classic World Series, they have the 52 World Series Game 7. So you can imagine 39 videos just on this playlist alone, full games, so you can check it out. It's something if you're so inclined and you want to check it out. So there's stuff out there. And I would say if you're watching this video and you have any suggestions or any ideas of similar kind of resources people can check out, maybe include a link in the description, or a comment including a link to something, because that right now I think a lot of people just need the distraction, and that's why like I said, I would encourage you, if you are so inclined and you're willing, maybe just chat about maybe a favorite card or something that interests you. It doesn't even have to be cards, to be honest with you. It can just be, how you're doing and how things are going in your place, in your area. Sometimes seeing the perspective of different people dealing with the exact same thing sometimes can be its own comforting thing to folks that are kind of dealing with the same and are trying to figure out how they need to feel about it and what they're going to do, because things are changing consistently. It's not like it's one size fits all and everybody's dealing with the exact same thing. There's variations on it. There's different levels. Some folks are already in more of a lockdown place, and some folks are getting there. Right now, where I am, things still haven't completely locked down, but it's definitely starting to clamp down a little bit. You're definitely starting to see, like today I was outside briefly to go get that piece of mail. I literally went out just for that one errand, and I can tell you the area was empty. Not a lot of folks out there, and not understandably so. Folks are taking it seriously, which is a good thing. The thing is, though, there's a lot of uncertainty about how long this is going to last. And obviously there's the two kind of elements working with each other. Obviously we want to take care of this and get to a time and place that everybody can feel comfortable going outside and being in groups and doing all that again. We want to get to that as soon as possible. But at the same time, we want to be wary to make sure we really do get to a time where we can do that comfortably without, creating additional problems. But then the other aspect of it is, however long this takes, and it's a bit of a catch-22, because in order to do this properly, realistically, we want to avoid everybody getting this kind of thing at the same time, because while a lot of folks will not need that medical attention, some folks will. And if everybody needs it at the same time and you run out of doctors, nurses, resources, and beds to put somebody in, that's going to create a big problem. So if you avoid that successfully, and still a bunch of people get it anyway, even if they can separate themselves out for a little while, recover, that means the thing will stretch out for a while. And at the same time, the longer it stretches out, the more complications it creates economically for folks, because some folks aren't working. And now you've got governments trying to figure out how you're going to deal with that. And things kind of grind to a halt. Obviously, as I said, Amazon's still doing deliveries, but they're being very careful, and wisely so. They basically just leave the box, as close to a safe place as they can near your door, which is good. And nobody is requiring signatures for anything, really. They don't want you to touch the stuff, which is probably a wise thing. So I would say take your precautions, do what you need to do, and I would say take care of yourself. And that can mean different things. It can be just try to find something that distracts you and puts your mind in the right place as best you can, or maybe take care of yourself physically. And that can mean, for me, I will just speak for myself, one thing that working from home has done is that it's removed my commute. So that means I've got an extra 2 hours a day to do different things. Yeah, I consume content and media and stuff, but the other thing I've kind of taken time to do, which I haven't done in a long time, and I should do more, is I'm taking that little bit of extra time sometimes to exercise a little bit more. Even though I'm kind of inside, I've got space around me. I'm fortunate that this condo has enough room. And I've got a room where I've got some workout equipment and a treadmill and things like that. I can at least spend some time doing that. And that in and of itself is something. If I'm on a conference call, like where I am right now, I can be on a conference call, I have wireless headphones. Well, that means I can be talking to somebody and I can be strolling up and down the main floor here. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's those small little things that means, like, I'm not just sitting in the chair all day, worrying or trying to work myself to distraction. I can still operate. And in reality, I'm walking around more than I would have in the office, just because Most of the time you're at your desk doing something. It's a small thing, and not everybody can do it, and I understand that. But it's just throwing some stuff out there that might be of interest. So I think I'll leave it at that. There's a lot more that I can say, but truthfully, I'm probably going to space it out, and I'll make more videos talking about different things and also kind of what's going on, and keep it as kind of a running tally of what's happening on my end of it. And you may consider doing the same. That's kind of what I throw out to you as something to think about. Really up to you at the end of it. I look forward to hopefully a lot of folks being able to use this as as a way to maybe give them a distraction, give them something to do. And I look forward to a lot of those lives that are happening, because I think that's really a good way of people at least kind of electronically communing, even if they can't physically commune and communicate that way. So that's really one thing the internet has given us that may not have been available years ago, and this is something we can use to our advantage. So that's what I would leave you with. As I said in the description, if you're interested and you're more of a baseball nerd, I included the link to the World Series games from MLB Vault. That's in the description. And 2 videos from Jomboy Media. They do a lot of baseball-related stuff. You can check that out. It's something if you want to check it out, and those are free. If you got YouTube and you're watching this, you can watch that, so it's there. And then obviously you do have some other options. Read a book. If you can find some time where no one's around, go take a walk and get some air. Do whatever you can. You don't need to be fearful, but you shouldn't be reckless. That's really what it comes down to, I think. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. I'm still trying to live my life day to day the best I can and try to make the most of what we've got here. So let's all do our best, and let's see if we can get through the thing to the other side as quickly and hopefully as efficiently as possible, and then we'll deal with what comes next. So I think that'll be the next thing that we'll all have to come to grips with, and I think we'll manage. We'll figure out a way. So that's it for me right now. Thanks very much. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. If you can leave a comment, and if you got to the end of the video, can you leave a comment and let me know that you got there? I'm curious how many of you get to this part. Anyway, thanks very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.